Following on from our last video on the components that make up an automated permeation system, if you haven't watched it yet, we'll include a link below. I highly recommend checking it out. We're now going to explore a couple of system configurations and explain the key differences between having a manual or automatic challenge chemical introduction system. Let's begin with what is probably the most straightforward configuration, a 6-cell manual challenge chemical introduction system that's set up for the analysis of EN374. The system comprises of 6 analysis cells with challenge chemicals manually added to each cell at the beginning of an experiment. Each cell has its own dedicated flow controller, which ensures a consistent flow of the collection gas. This is then directed into a stream selection valve, which ensures that the relevant gas stream is directed to the gas chromatograph at the appropriate time, where a sample is then collected and analysed. The system operates using discrete sampling. This means that multiple samples are measured periodically as opposed to a continuous monitoring of one signal. How often a sample is taken will be determined by the expected breakthrough time of the sample. How we configure experiments are planned around the GC's capability to run a sample every 60 seconds. For example, if we have a combination of test material and challenge chemical that is expected to break through quickly, we would sample every 60 seconds. This helps us get a more accurate picture of the permeation process. In this example, once a challenge chemical is added, the same cell is analysed repeatedly. The sample is taken after 60 seconds, then again after another 60 seconds, then again after 60 seconds, and so on. This will continue until breakthrough has happened or the test has run its course. If we have a material that is known to take longer to break through, we don't have a sample as frequently. This changes how our system operates, allowing us to use 3 cells at once. This helps us save time, and we can run multiple experiments together and still get the information we need. Let's see what this looks like with a 3-minute sampling time using 3 cells. We add the challenge chemical to cell 1. 60 seconds later, the system takes a sample from cell 1 and the challenge chemical is added to cell 2. 60 seconds later, a sample is taken from cell 2 and the challenge chemical is added to cell 3. 60 seconds later, a sample is taken from cell 3. Now, every 60 seconds, samples will be taken from those cells in that order again. 240 seconds from the start of the test, a sample is taken from cell 1. 300 seconds, a sample is taken from cell 2. 360 seconds from cell 3. With this method, we are taking a sample from each cell every 3 minutes, but with a 60-second interval in between each cell. This means that we get the triplicate test results in a much shorter time than if we were only using 1 cell at a time. It's a smart and efficient way to get the job done. To make the testing process even more efficient, for materials with a longer expected breakthrough time, we can take it one step further and test using 6 cells simultaneously, with each cell being tested every 6 minutes. This allows you to run 2 different batches of samples at the same time, saving you even more time and increasing efficiency of your testing process. It's important to keep in mind that this is a manual challenge chemical introduction system, which means an operator needs to be present when the experiments begin and end to add the challenge chemical at the appropriate time. Manual challenge chemical introduction is ideal for those running a small number of samples. However, it does have its limits in terms of automation. Which brings us neatly on to the next system configuration, a 6-cell system with automatic challenge chemical introduction. The system is very similar to the manual system, but features an upgraded housing, the addition of a reservoir above each cell that's filled with the challenge chemical, a custom control module to control the sample introduction valves, and upgraded software to further automate the system. By upgrading to an automatic challenge chemical introduction system, you can unlock a whole new realm of automation possibilities and eliminate the need for manual chemical introduction. This takes your permeation testing to a new level. With automatic challenge chemical introduction, you gain the flexibility to run multiple experiments without being tethered to the equipment. You can now conduct experiments at any time, even overnight, freeing up resources and dramatically accelerating the testing process. Let's walk through an example of how automatic challenge chemical introduction works and how it speeds up testing. Let's say we have a material that's expected to have a rapid breakthrough. In this case, we can optimize our testing process by analyzing one cell at a time and collecting samples every 60 seconds. With the automated system, here's what you can expect. First, the challenge chemical is introduced into cell 1. After 60 seconds, the first sample is taken, followed by another sample 60 seconds later, and so on until either breakthrough happens or the time is up. The system then stops the flow from the cell while continuing to test the gas in the line. Once the system confirms that the gas is clean and back to a stable base level, it moves on to cell 2, introducing the challenge chemical and taking samples every 60 seconds. Again, continuing until either breakthrough occurs or the time has finished. The process repeats with the system shutting off the flow from each cell, testing the gas line, and then moving on to the next cell. One major advantage of the automated system over the manual one is that there is no need for an operator to manually start the next test after the previous one has finished. With the automated system, the software can be set up with a range of end conditions that, once met, will automatically move on to the next test. With the automatic challenge chemical introduction system, you have the flexibility to choose the sampling methods that best suit your needs. Whether you prefer short sampling intervals of 60 seconds or longer intervals of several minutes, the system can accommodate. You can even mix and match different sampling methods for different cells. It can even switch GC methods between experiments, allowing you to run different challenge chemicals on different experiments. For example, you can run a method on one challenge chemical with a 60-second sampling interval for cells 1, 2 and 3, and then once they have finished, run a method with 3-minute sampling intervals using a different challenge chemical for cells 4, 5 and 6. The system will handle everything automatically and smoothly. With this level of automation, it's advantageous to have additional sample capacity. Additional blocks of 6 cells can be added, up to 18 cells in total. This setup allows you to run up to 18 individual experiments or even multiple experiments that use 3 cells at once, each with different challenge chemicals and methods. This configuration is ideal for testing facilities and development houses that require a high volume of tests. If you're interested in seeing how our permeation system could work for your company, click the link below to arrange an initial free consultation to review your requirements and see which system would be the best fit for you.